Hello and welcome to this video. In this video I'd like to just demonstrate how you can set up your website with the jQuery plugin called SmoothState.js. It's a great little plugin that helps with transitions, smooth transitions or animations more specifically from one page to the next. On the SmoothState.js web page is some information for how you can set up. But I'm just going to go ahead and run through it and show you in this video how to do it from scratch. You can also see here's an example of how they move from one page to the next. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I already have Visual Studio open with my simple website here. Let me go ahead and view the site so we can get an idea of what we're working with here. So it's a pretty simple website. You've got your sort of basic structure of logo and menu. So that'll be section 1. And then this hero title area. And then the rest of the content of the site, which is basically like the body and the footer. And you can see if I click around on the other pages, it has that same basic structure on all the pages. So I think what we'll do here is we'll have our header area. I'm just going to leave that alone. I don't actually want that to animate. I think it'd be cool if it just stayed just how it is. And then this section will move left to right, right to left. And then all of the content below it will have that fade and slide up and down. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump in here. I have got my index.html open. I'm just gonna, you can see I've got like my logo div and my nav bar. I'm just gonna collapse these so we can see what we're working with. This jumbotron, that is this area. Going to go ahead and collapse that, and then my container there has the meat of the website, the bulk of the information, and the footer. So we need to wrap all of this in a div, and I'm just going to do a shortcut that's Control-KS to surround that with a div. You could just probably just as easily, if not even quicker, just type that out yourself. So this section, that's our logo and nav bar. I'm not going to animate that, so I'm just going to leave it alone. So we'll surround that with a div, and then we'll surround this part with a div. Okay, that's a good start there. Now in our CSS file, whatever your CSS file is that you're using, I've got this big fat bootstrap file that I have yet to go through and clean up. We're going to go ahead and make a little comment here. So we need some animation keyframes. And I'm just going to type these out as quick as I can. So we're going to do one that's fade in and up. That's kind of for the main content of the site. And we'll do one also at keyframes that's fade in and right. And you can do whatever animations you want, but these are the ones that I'm going with. So let's see, at the 0 keyframe, we'll have an opacity of 0. We'll do a transform. Translate 3D. looks good. Put a little semicolon there just to be consistent. And at the 100%, we'll take opacity back to full opacity, which is 1. Transform, we'll say none. That's just kind of a quicker way of doing that. And you know, for the fade in and right, it's basically going to be the same thing. So I'll copy and paste. We just need to change this area. So that's 100% on the x-axis, 0 on the y, and 0 on the z. And the x-axis is the one that runs left to right. And I think that all looks good. You can see that Visual Studio is prompting us here to add the vendor-specific properties for Firefox, Internet Explorer, and Chrome. I'm not really into that stuff. I like to use a JavaScript called prefix free, and maybe we'll just go grab that right now and add that to the project. We'll go to GitHub and download zip. I'll grab the minified version of that. I'm going to go ahead and copy that and open our JavaScript folder for the project. I'm going to paste it in there, and I'm also going to drag and drop so that it's added to our project here. And I'm going to go ahead and add that right behind jQuery. You do have to have jQuery installed for smooth, what's it called? Smooth scroll? What is this called? SmoothState. So you do have to have jQuery installed in order for SmoothState to work. But at this point, we don't even need that. I was just using jQuery for other things. So I'm going to go ahead and add prefix free to our index. And the other page that we're going to work with is company history. So I'm going to scroll down and add that prefix free in there. Whoops. Prefix free. I'm going to drag that over here, and that'll add it in there. So that takes care of any JavaScript or CSS prefixes. Okay, I just hit save there. So let's see, so we've got a little bit of CSS here for our keyframes. That's really all we need. We're just going to do these two animations. Now I'm going to add another comment for the page animations. They're not transitions, they're animations. So I'm going to go ahead and add some classes here, and you could make these classes be named whatever you want, but I'm just going to use the naming conventions that they're using on the SmoothState web page, and you can see they've got these all laid out here already. Ours are a little bit different, so I'll just go ahead and type them out. So we're using one called mScene and .scene element. So this has an animation duration that we'll set of 0.25 seconds. And we'll set it to ease in. Our animation fill mode of both. So this is just some, this will apply to all of our animations that we're using. And now more specifically, we'll have one called scene element fade in up. And this one we'll call an animation name fade in up. And then we just need another one for mscene. Fade in right, and that one we'll call the animation name of the one that we created called fade in right. Okay, so that's a good start. We'll hit save there. And we should be able to apply some classes over here and get a little bit of page animation started. Now for this div that's containing everything, we need an ID of main, we'll call that, and class of mscene. And then we're going to add some specific animations to that hero graphic area, and we'll give that a class. And let's see, so we need scene element, and so this one's going to do a side-to-side fade. So this one's fade in right, and for the content below it, we're going to have scene element and scene element fade in up. So that's good. We've got that on our index page. We need to add this to also the other page that we're going to work with, which is the company history. And you're going to have to add this to every page that you're working with in your site. So let me just go ahead and add these real quick. I'm going to surround this with a div. Okay, so just like we did on the index page, we have to give this an ID of main. And for the class, we have mScene. That's all we need on that master container there. And then this div gets a class of scene element and scene element fade in right. And this one I get scene element fade in up. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save all. And if we go back to our sample page and hit refresh, you can see, hopefully you could see that there. I'll hit refresh again. And if we click on company, we're also getting that side-to-side animation on this area. So that's pretty good. We've got a decent start, and we haven't even used, that's just all CSS. We haven't used anything from, you can see in my JavaScript folder, I haven't even added the SmoothState JavaScript. So let's go ahead and grab that. So let's see the project on GitHub, download the zip. SmoothState. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that over into my JavaScript folder. And add that to our project. So there it is, jQuery SmoothState. So we need to add that to all of our pages. So add that down here next to your, where you've got your jQuery. Remember, you have to have jQuery. So let's see, jQuery smooth state. I'm going to add that right after our prefix free. And do that also over here on company history. Now we also need to create a function, and what I'm going to do is in our JavaScript folder, I'm going to add a new JavaScript file. And I'll call it functions. Now, I don't know how to write JavaScript from scratch, so basically I'm just going to copy and paste what they have on their site. So this is what we have here, and I'll just kind of pause, I guess, on this section just so that you can make sure that you see what I've got here. So we've got body equals HTML body, content equals main. There's that ID that we set up. You can set the duration, and we've got that set to the same timing that we've set over in the CSS, 250 milliseconds. And this has this part, and you can see the explanation of all this on their website. But this is exiting. This is another class that we have yet to create over here in our CSS. But that takes care of reversing the animations when you're leaving a page. And then this body animate scroll top, this section resets the page to go back up to the top when you're coming and going from the different pages. So all of this is the same as what they have on their website. And you could just copy and paste that basically from here, and that's just what I have minus the comments. Okay, so I'm going to save this file, and I'm going to add it to our pages. So index gets a copy of functions, and so does company history. So I'm going to save all on those. And so we are still in need of one more CSS class. And this is the one that takes care of reversing the animation. And this one's going to be called isExiting. And we're going to give us an animation direction of alternate reverse. Okay, got it. Now, I think that that's basically it. If we jump back over here and look at our web page, and we have to reload it, so let's reload the home page. Oh, look at that. You can see everything's working just as we would expect. And if I hit the back button, it works. And if I scale this down to something that might be more like a phone, my menu's a little weird there, but you can see it works. It has a nice animation, and the back button has a nice animation there too. Now that's basically it. And if you wanted to, you could add a couple things to this function. And you know, this function you could add right into the page too. You don't have to do a link to a file, an external JavaScript file. You could go script. You could go like this and add it in there. I believe that would work just fine. But I think it's better to just have it in its own file, because then if you need to make a change to it, it'll reflect that change across all of your pages. So now you can go ahead and add everything that we've done here to all of the rest of the pages, because you're going to want all of them to animate nicely. And just a note too that you can also go in here, and they have some suggestions for boosting performance. So you can add prefetch so that it'll preload pages, and you can cache pages with page cache, and it gives you examples of how you can add these to your page. I have not done that yet, so I'm not sure how they work, but I think that we've got a good start here. So hopefully this helped you out in some way. Cheers.